Yeah, say don't get him started. Right on cue. Right on cue. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to another episode of Sip the Tally Films for our first call-in show of the 2024 season. So what we're going to do is I do want to give my synopsis of, what I saw Friday and talk about the guys that I think performed up or performed down. But since Malik kind of threw this out there, and before I even say what's up, we're going to kind of just jump right into it. Malik jumped in and he gave his normal Ravens tweet welcoming myself and everybody in, and he said, "Rave Kingdom, it's your time to shine, my boy." And as soon as the intro popped in, guess who popped on the phone line? None other than the man himself, Rave Kingdom. So before I get to Rave, just so you know, the number is in the chat. I'll highlight it right here. Streamlabs will constantly refresh it. I put it in there one time, so you dial that number, it'll ask you for the access code, and you put the access code in, and you should pop up, and you can hear, like, once you get in the waiting room, you can hear what's going on in the show. So once you do that, you don't have to kind of keep the stream going. Also, you can hear what's going on the show. So, and then once I, click you in to call, if you're watching it like on a separate device or whatever, turn that down so we won't have the echo going. But if you're on your phone and if you're watching on your phone and you decide to call in, you'll still be able to hear everything that's going on while you're in the waiting room before I click you in. All right. So, and everybody that's coming in, and I'm gonna shout y'all out, but let's get Rave Kingdom going from the jump, and then we'll come back and do what we need to do. All right. So let's bring him on in. Make sure everything's straight. If I can hit the right button. Good afternoon, good sir. How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's
We're
good to
glad
hear.
see everybody.
And so let me make sure. Hold on before you get into it. Let me make sure everything good. Can y'all hear him? Let me just make sure everything good. It's our first one of the year, so we got to make sure all the audio is good. Let me get a thumbs up if y'all can hear Rave. Just wait a second. Let me see. It's a little delayed when the chat's up. So the first thumbs up I'll let you go. But other than that, everything good on your end?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep. Matt said they hear you. So, all right, we had the preseason game. What was that? Friday versus the Eagles. Tell me what you saw, what you did like, what you didn't like. The floor is yours.
First and foremost, man, shout out to the chat. Shout out to y'all. Let me give y'all credit and respect to the fact that y'all remembered me, because last season was a couple months ago, It's been a minute. So for you to remember me is like, hey, that's kind of, I appreciate that. Nate Wiggins is a dog, a pro. Let's start off with there, because and I don't know if it's just a tradition. It's like every rookie we had that we know is ready and that's already proven. It's like in preseason they just let him stay out there longer, like with Zay Flowers. If we remember Zay Flowers, they had him in longer when he didn't even need to be in the game no more. I get it. You want these people to have the reps, but You know, it was Nate Wiggins. He had me hitting a heart attack right there with his injury. So I was like, wait a minute, no, because that dude is young, fast, and we need him right now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many years we got left on Humphrey's legs. Okay, so you know, hey, man, I'm not gonna judge it too much. Because we only had mostly like our third and fourth strings, while everybody else want to use their starters against us. So, you know, I let it slide. I wasn't gonna trip out on too much. The only thing I would say I would love to talk about, and I want your thoughts on it, Coach.
Okay.
Let's not act like we didn't see it. Josh Johnson and Devin Leary or Larry, whatever his last name is. When do we learn to just get rid of trash? I'm sorry, Coach. Oh,
Yeah.
well, he's played a long time, and I respect that. And he wants to show a lot of people want to quit on their own terms, but when it's time, it's time.
Well,
I know.
I say this. If I'm Josh Johnson, I'm gonna keep getting this check till you don't give it to me. If you're gonna pay me if you're gonna see what I put on tape and continue to pay me, I'm gonna keep doing it. Now it's up to them to say, hey Josh, we don't need you no more. Go on about your business. But if you're gonna pay me to do a subpar job, good. If you're gonna pay me good to do a subpar job, I'm gonna keep doing it as an individual, because I need my checks to come as long as my checks. I'm gonna maximize my potential as long as I can. He know the end is soon, but
Right.
As an individual, like whatever your job is and whatever my job is, if I'm doing a crappy job at it, and as long as you're gonna continue to pay me, I'm gonna keep getting them checks. It's up to the employee to say, like, look, this ain't working. We gotta do something. But individually, I'm gonna keep getting my checks. But I do get where you coming from, because they looked like Bubba Dub says, trash.
Now, to fix that situation, I'm going to bring up a name. It's kind of controversy because I think people misread him, and he explained in what he meant on his channel and what his thoughts was. Cam Newton as a backup. And I bring him up because if you go to his channel, he explained that he is ready. He said he's been ready. He's been working out. He's been kept himself in shape. He already explained what he meant. He said, look, I will have no problem being a backup for, because I already know I'm not going to start over no Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to start over no Josh Allen or no Patrick Mahomes. So he said, I'm a backup for them. He was just saying those other guys, I'm going to let you know I'm going to go all out, and they can't compete with me. And I'll be a starter above those other guys. We know those other guys are. So I just don't see how a team or even the Ravens can't give a call and say, hey, I ain't saying you got to sign him immediately. Just check him out. See what he can do. I mean, if we're keeping it real, if Lamar Jackson goes down right now, is any of us in this chat or any of us right now, Coach, do we really feel we're happy about our backup if Lamar Jackson actually goes down?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Like, we don't at all feel that way. Now, I will say this: I never thought about Cam as far as a backup. I never thought about calling him or whatever. Like, the only person that even thought in my mind was like whoever one of those Cleveland quarterbacks, because they're gonna cut one of them or put him on a practice squad. And we scooped him up. I thought about Tannehill. I never even thought about Cam. Now, my thing about Cam is Cam hadn't seen a snap in what, not even snap, hadn't even been on somebody's team in what, 2 years? That would bother me, him not being in the organization for 2 years. And I know New England got rid of him because they were scared that he would be a distraction if they went with Mac Jones. I'm sorry. And so I know he wouldn't be a distraction for Lamar, because Lamar just don't care. Lamar gonna be a baller. So
right.
I guess you could maybe see what he got, maybe bring him in for a workout and see if he still got it. But then if you don't sign him, you know, no harm, no foul. But I never even thought about Cam. But I think Cam is better than those guys? I definitely think he might be a better option than Josh. I do. I definitely think he might be a better option than Josh. But Cam never even the thought of bringing in Cam never even crossed my mind until you brought it up.
I understand. I was just wondering why no one thought of that guy. I mean, because when I looked at, anybody, we could use anybody right now. You know, Travis Hunter, you come in and help out. That's how bad Josh Johnson was. But one last thing before I go, Ben Cleveland, coach, because me and you was trying to defend Ben Cleveland out of a whole bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Me and you, Dave, are passionate about Ben Cleveland because we believe in him. We saw him when he got drafted out of Georgia. We saw that big dude body slam them dudes. So I like I said, I'm with you. What you said about it is we don't know what he's doing because me and you watch him in the game and film. Like, oh my God, this guy is ready to be a starter. But for some reason, we keep hearing news. Like, I don't know, is he not caring in practice because he knows what he's doing? Like, so he just goes to practice not caring, and then he just ends up not being a starter when the game starts? Or it's just like, because I keep hearing people say, oh, he sucks in practice, But we watch him in the game like, this dude is a pro. You know what I'm saying, Coach?
I see the same thing you see, Ray. It's like the same. All the reports come out like 3 years ago, Ben Powers overtook him and played and got paid. Last year, John Simpson outplayed him, got paid. This year, he had the job, paid for him because it was word that he couldn't play on the left side. So they let Zeitler go. You think he'd slide right in and take that job? Now they got center block feet there. And so they put him at center. We get into a game situation. He have a pretty darn decent game. And then Falele has a average at best, but I think subpar game. And Ben Cleveland on tape looks like he needs to play right guard on tape. But then you go, and I don't know what happened to practice today, but all the practice stuff say that Ben Cleveland ain't doing jack. So I kind of threw my hands up with trying to figure him out last week. Whatever happens with him happens. I don't know. I want to defend him, but I ain't really washing my hands on him because every time you get him on tape, like you said, he performs. And you can't just be a gamer in the NFL. These guys got to trust you to put stuff on tape at practice before they can just give you that starting job. And if you ain't doing it at practice, I understand. Now, I would hope that it's still this, since he didn't pass that, whatever their physical test, their conditioning test 2 years ago, I hope that pettiness still ain't going on. But still, it's something, there's a disconnect somewhere. And I hope they, as a whole, the coaching staff and him, figure it out because we need our best five out there, as OTR might say, to protect our Ferrari that's touching the ball every play.
Yes, sir. That most definitely. So, Coach, I want to leave y'all. I know there's some people that probably want to talk. I appreciate you, Coach. I don't want to just keep it nice and simple today because it's only preseason.
Right.
Regular season, I'll be a little different. I see you, Coach.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you calling, too. Hey, you the first of the season, and hopefully you'll be the last of the season in mid-February.
Yes, sir.
All right, my boy. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, next up, let me check your points before we go on. Let me see. Hit that like button when you come in. If we got to hit our 25, then I'll add points to everybody as we go through. So as you come in and as you listen, as you conversating in the chat box, hit the like so I can add tally points to everybody's total. So go ahead and smash that like button as we move on to our next caller. All right, next caller. What's your name? What you got for us?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. What's good out in the land out there? You safe out there?
Always. I might not be safe, but I'm gonna stay dangerous. I'm always good.
So like I said, we played the Eagles Friday. Did you get a chance to check the game out?
Yes, sir. And I watched your tape.
Mm-hmm.
I called it a day late, like I usually do, but I
that's
definitely
cool.
watched your tape.
Hey, like my boy Drake say, better late than never. Everybody
Man,
ain't
Drake
Drake
got his
fans.
own
Everybody
problems.
ain't Drake fans no more. I know. I still am. Everybody ain't Drake fans no more. I still am. Better late than never, but never late is better.
For sure. I've got some quick fires at you. I'm gonna start on the offense.
Okay.
My confidence behind Justice Hill has faltered.
Okay.
And my question is, I know Keaton Mitchell got injured in December, and to all those Ravens fans out there that love Keaton Mitchell, I'm not sure if I see him playing until the playoffs. So my first question is, what do you think about Dalvin Cook and how he's been treated? I feel like if you're a running back and you have 2 years in a row where you're subpar or average, they just write you off. So with Rasheen Ali and Owen Wright, I mean, I feel like they need a year on the practice. And I was wondering what you thought about us bringing back Dalvin Cook.
The fall off of Dalvin Cook has been greatly damaged because Dalvin Cook was a 1,000-yard back, 1,000-yard back, 1,000-yard back, 1,000-yard back, and then he just went to being an afterthought for whatever reason. I think Dalvin Cook did good in his small little stint with us. Now, I think Dalvin Cook's going to sit on his couch and chill until something happens to somebody, whether that be Ravens or whatever NFL team has happened. And somebody just mentioned it. Cam Owen Wright, to me, just in his preseason games, looked decent. I don't like it, and with you, I don't think Keaton's going to be back until at least after Thanksgiving, which is fine for me because he'll come in and try and have some fresh legs, and Derrick Henry can take 2 or 3 less carries. Your boy you just mentioned, Justice Hill, can take 2 or 3 less carries out of the 3 or 4 he probably gonna get anyway. And Rasheen Ali can then definitely be relegated to completely on the bench. But and I like Rasheen Ali a little bit. He just got to hold on to that ball, and the fact that he fumbled his first touch, that ain't good for him.
Man.
That is not good for him. Like, no matter what the situation was, and we know what happened to people that fumble for John Harbaugh. They get banished to the shadow realm. They go down there with Kane the Conqueror and they just don't come back. So, and hopefully that may not be his case, but we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen to other running backs. But Cook, just like we talked about with Cam Newton with Rave Kingdom, like the 2 seasons of him not being in somebody's camp and playing consistently, it's going to be tough for somebody to put him at the beginning of the camp and just play a full season. He's going to be a late season addition when people have bumps and bruises and nicks and hurt running backs and whatnot, and come in and try to give somebody a boost. And it's crazy, and this ain't got nothing to do with us, but I look at the Jets running back room. They got the young buck up there. Then they drafted 2 more young bucks. So they got three guys that hit you upside the head, and I don't know how we missed out on some of the guys that they got. It just baffles me, some of the stuff that our scouting department does. But
man, I wanted Marshawn. I think his name was Marshawn Lloyd. I wanted him so bad, and it hurt me so much that we passed on him 2 times. But I know my time is limited. I got an offensive line question, a wide receiver question, and then a defensive question. For the offensive line, I watched your tape on Ben Cleveland. I think you might have 2 tapes on him. But I've noticed that when centers know what the count is, they do better. I think that Cleveland was late off the line. It doesn't help that he's so heavy. But Cleveland was late off the line a lot of times when he was playing guard. But when he knew the snap count because he was in charge of playing center, he looked so much damn better. I love him at center. I just was wondering what you were thinking. I watched the tape of his confidence coming into this might be his third, but second or third season.
This is fourth.
What do you think about heavy linemen transferring into the center position that usually play guard, and when they know the play count, that they're not off, they're not late off the line when they're playing center?
And that thing is twofold for me. Him actually controlling the snap is good, but the fact that he has to snap and step can kind of slow that down. Because I think we saw one play where because he has to snap and step, and he didn't do it fast enough, Falele stepped on his foot, and he fell over through the play and didn't block anybody. So sometimes he gets off fast enough when he does it, but I guess it's depending on which way he has to go. If he has to go left or right, one way he'll be faster than the other depending on which hand. I think he's left-handed, so he'll probably snap and go right faster than he'll snap and go left because of the way you have to do it. But as far as him, he looked his best at center, but he has no chance in heck playing center for us unless something happens to Linderbaum. Now, what that does do for him, though, he may get a chance to go play center for somebody else next year if we don't keep him around. Because now he has tape. Because when you look at just games, he got decent tape at right guard and at center. So he can bolt that into a decent contract with somebody else. Because, in the NFL, the more you can do, the better it is for you.
Better.
So, with him, it may not work out with us. But he may get a decent second contract and extend his NFL career another 4 or 5 years with somebody else. But I just don't know why he can't put it all together with us and just take one of these open jobs that keep coming open year after year after year, and he let these Joe Blows take the spot from him when he had an opportunity 3 years in a row to solidify a spot and just take it.
Right. My most worrisome position is wide receiver, and I think it's a reflection of not only EDC but Ozzie Newsome. They have this thing where they'll pay the tight ends premium, they'll pay the safeties premium, but the wide receivers, they'll take a back step, or their corners, they'll risk it. And I'm not gonna lie, as a Raven fan, I agree with that. I agree with defense, and I agree with running the ball, but man, we cannot continue to rely on and our three best players. Zay, he's small. Rashad Bateman, he gets injured. Nelson Aguilar, he can't catch sometimes. I mean, we've seen that in practice. There's never a premium player at wide receiver. I wanted us to get Michael Thomas. Even though he has his own issues, he's a big guy. Mm-hmm. How do you see the depth chart playing out with us having a good tight end, a good quarterback, a good running back, but our questionary positions are wide receiver and offensive line? How do you think that plays out for us?
As far as I'll just go through the guys I think that's going to make it. And you mentioned both of them. Obviously, Zay is our number one, but he doesn't have a number one, quote unquote, and I'm doing air quotes, number one body. Because he has really a slot receiver body, but he's our number one receiver, and he proved that last year to me. Now, the guy that has the number one body, Bateman. And we really can't trust him yet. And not only do we as fans can't trust him because our opinion don't really matter, the guy that touches the ball every play, I don't think trusts him, which is what really matters. And so some kind of way they have to, and I think they're trying to build chemistry and trying to build trust in each other. But until we see that in games over 6 games, 10 games, 12 games, they got, because we need Bateman to be the number one guy. That's what we need. If he can be the number one guy or somebody else, not named Zay, the whole offense will just, like, we already got a good offense, but the whole offense will open up. If we got a guy that, hey, it's 3rd and 8 and we get one-on-one coverage, this guy's getting open regardless. And Bateman has shown he can get open, but he don't get the ball. And we've seen it like in analytics, and we've seen it with our own eyes watching film. Now, whether he's not been high on the what's the word I'm looking for? The progressions, or whether Lamar just don't want to throw him the ball. I'm not saying it's either one of them. The fact remains he just ain't been getting the ball for whatever the reasons are.
Coach,
go ahead.
I hate to cut you off, but man, this it just hurts my heart because this guy, this is his 3rd damn year. Mm-hmm. And I hate hearing people like Adam Schefter say that because you draft him in the 3rd round that they're creditable. That's BS.
Yeah.
This is his third year. I saw this man in the AFC Championship. Lamar told him to go straight up. He told him twice. And he cut back downwards. They don't have a connection. I'm not saying that he's not talented.
Right.
His routes are beautiful. But they don't have a connection, Coach.
I
How
agree.
can we rely on this man to be a number one if he damn near not even a number 2 or 3?
I agree 100% with you. Their connection, they got to get on the same page some kind of way. And I don't think, and as much as they say in the media, yeah, we good, and such and such, I don't believe it. They need more people. So I just don't believe it. I don't think they got it together. I just don't. And they need to. For us to unlock this whole thing, they need to. And I you know, they always say we've spent this much draft capital on number one receivers, yada yada yada. Well, they got to work out. You can draft a number one, you can draft a first round receiver every year, and if they trash, if they don't work out, it don't matter.
Right.
It don't matter. You say you had a defensive question too, right?
Yeah, and it concerns Josh Ross and Cal Hamilton. And
Okay.
I'll just wonder, quick, fast, in a hurry. I'll just wonder what you think about. I've seen Trenton Simpson, and John Harbaugh is one of those guys. He'll force you in there. If they pay you big money and the guy behind you is better, they'll still start you. If you got a 6th-round pick or a 5th-round pick and another guy is the 2nd-round pick, then they don't give a damn. They'll just force you up in there. But I was wondering what you were thinking about from what you've seen so far about Josh Ross, because, man, I like him. I like him. I know he's a special teams player, but I like his hunger. And Trenton Simpson he's one of those guys that's good at everything from what I've seen, but not great at one thing. And that one thing that I would prefer that he have was I would hope that he was a thumper. Man, I like Josh Ross. I like him. I like his thumping skills. What have you seen, or what do you like about Josh Ross?
I like Josh coming out of college, but if I'm putting the two together right now, I think Trent has a leg up on him because Trent can do more than him.
Right.
Like if both of them just played it, if we were just old school football in the box, Josh may have a leg up on him. But this new NFL where you got to cover guys and do this and do that, and Trent just can do more than Josh right now. And I think, you know, that's where Trent got the edge on him. And he's younger, and he's faster, and he's more athletic. But if it was old school, putting him at Mike, and I control B gap to B gap, Josh could probably win a position. And you know, we know that's role position. But Trent just can do so much more, and he's so much faster. He's so much explosive. And his best, to me right now, his best trait may be covering people. That Trent just got a huge advantage on Josh right now. And Josh, to me, don't suck. He just he's rolls back up to me because I don't think he can do the position Trenton do. Because Trenton gonna do a lot when real games start. And because keep in mind what you saw Trent do Friday is not what he gonna be doing. That's gonna be role spot.
Right.
Trent gonna be the guy running around doing a lot of the other stuff. Because Rowe gonna be in the middle doing all the stuff that Trenton did. And Trenton, even though he had 11 tackles, he had some mishaps where he was like in wrong gaps and guessing and doing stuff like that. And which is, like I think I told all 22 this in our little group chat. How can the guy play good and bad at the same time? That was my definition of Trent Simpson's game. He played good and bad at the same time. Good on effort, bad on like some reads and being in the wrong gaps. But his effort and his tenacity and his ferociousness was off the chain.
Right, because our run game, it looks good at sometimes, but I hate to see offenses 5 yards out from the end zone run the ball in. That makes me sick. Ray Lewis would never allow that.
Yeah, our D tackles. Some of our D tackles were getting mishandled, too. Well, I ain't gonna say some, one in particular, but the guy that got paid first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that got paid first.
My last question is concerning the secondary. I was hoping that I think that we're gonna keep 7, and I think 6 of those 7 are on our roster right now. DJ Tampa, he came back, but Arthur Mollett, he's hurt. So I was wondering what you thought about really Cal Hamilton, but Brandon Stevens. I mean, I don't know how much tape you've done on Brandon Stevens. I'm gonna have to take another look at it, but my faith in, I think that it's not a coincidence. I was watching Wonderkin. I think you did an interview with him once or twice, but my faith with Brandon Stevens, I feel like half of the completions that got caught on us against wide receivers in the AFC Championship was on Brandon Stevens, and that's why we took Nate Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hoping that you could maybe off the top of your head give me 7 corners that you think are going to make it, or 6 corners, and maybe the one that you didn't have faith in.
Yeah, I can give you the DBs I think gonna make it. Then I might give you 6 off the top, man. I got paper in front of me. See if I can give you 6. I think Brandon is number 1. I do. Based off the play of last year, I think Brandon's number 1. Marlowe 2. And I'm gonna include Marlette in that. I think Marlowe's 3. I mean, not Marlowe. I'm sorry, Marlette. I think Marlette was 3. I think Wiggins is 4. J. Lomer Davis is 5. He's really improved. Pepe 6, and TJ Tampa is the 7. I think them the 7 we're gonna keep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Coach. Thanks for taking my call. Mark, you said Marlowe's number 2. I heard you said you didn't like him off the field, but you like him on the field.
Right.
But ever since he tore his like muscle in his chest, I forgot what it's called, but I feel like he's been playing lighter. He used to be like a damn strong safety. He used to be like a linebacker. What do you think about cornerbacks that lose weight or just lose upper body strength but keep their lower body strength because of injury? That's my last question. So thanks, everybody. Hope you have a good day.
All right. Marlowe's a butthole, but with him playing at lighter weight, I think it'll be better for him, because what I think is going to happen is with Marlette being injured, and hopefully Wiggins is fine. Wiggins will bump out and be the outside corner with Brandon Stevens, and Marlon will transition to being that slot dude, because, we like to blitz and stuff with our slot corners, and Marlon was pretty good at that before he got injured. So I think that's what happened. He'll transition to being like, when we just have 2 corners out there, he'll be one of the outside corners. But when we go in our nickel package and have 3 corners, they'll slide Marlo in as a nickel and let the young buck be the other outside guy. That's the one I got. I appreciate you, big dog.
Wiggins, thank you. Have a good day.
All right. We got Cam up here. Cam might be our last one for the day. Let me see. Let me get Cam in. Killer, what's good with you today, my boy?
I'm gonna call. What's that? What's up, Coach?
Not much. How you doing today?
And
again, I want to congratulate you on your accomplishment. So in person, so we finally talking. I know the chat did it the other day, but congratulations on your accomplishment. And let's talk about a little football.
One thing, man, I was really impressed with the O-line play. The O-line play, I mean, there were some misses, but it's mostly because of the second string left tackle. Jones actually played pretty good, but it was the guy after him that just missed a lot and just caused a lot of, and that caused a lot of panic in the O-line. But I think Roger and Ben Cleveland impressed me the most. And honestly, man, I just don't really see it with Lately. Every time, I don't know what is happening in practice, man, but I just don't know. I just don't. What other callers are saying, I don't get how Cleveland's getting 0 shot at right guard. And honestly, man, and also, I just didn't really like how they did Emery Jones on the last play.
Yeah, that bothered me.
It just made 0 sense. He was cold. It didn't. Honestly, didn't even expect to play, and you just threw him out there, and it's come on, dog.
Right.
And then what made it worse is the left tackle got immediately beat, and it was right, and the DN was already right on top of him. in like 5 seconds. It's like, come on, man. It's just stuff like that. Just really irks me with John Harbaugh. But
Yeah,
also,
I
man,
definitely didn't understand that. That man's been sitting over there for about 4 hours, and you bring him out there to try to, dare I say, try to go win the game.
yeah,
You got lucky with them missing the field goal. Take the tie because you know you ain't no overtime in preseason. Just take the tie and go watch the film and let him play. Let him play some Saturday. That's all that is.
yeah. And also, like, I don't feel like not to be mean, but like I don't really get what the old caller was saying to Josh Ross. Like Josh Ross is just kind of just there, in my opinion. Like he had a good preseason his rookie year, but like last year and this year's season just kind of just meh. If you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really see him playing if there's no injury. Like I just don't see the talent there.
Yeah.
As like a person who's forcing you to have him on the field. I just don't see it with him.
Yeah, he gotta be like he's definitely just a Mike. And he's more of an old school, like when the NFL was, I'm gonna run it first, second, and then on third, throw it on third if I have to. That's what Ross, because he played that Michigan style offense where they was, you know, they was gonna have all them big heavy guys out there, and he was not gonna get touched because they had two good defensive tackles, and he was able to run around a little bit and make some plays. Now he's just an old school linebacker, and the NFL is a little different. He gotta get a little faster. He gotta drop some weight, get a little twitchier. And maybe he can play then, but in his current state, I don't think he can play a significant amount of time and be successful.
Yeah, and also like I was looking with other people. I'm just severely worried about the backup QB situation because like it feels like none of these guys can even do spot duty. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if Mar maybe goes out in like a quarter. I don't see these guys like holding their weight at all, man. Like, I mean, like I would try to sign Cam to like a vet minimum because even though Cam's been out 2 years, he's way better than any QB we have on the roster, besides Lamar.
Right.
You know, so just I mean I know because like we only have like $4 million in cap now since you signed Eddie Jackson. You know, so. We can't really make a huge
Cam might come out there for peanuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he would sign with us for like on a vet minimum because I think he does like the organization and I think he really likes Lamar. So I think he would take the vet minimum just to be in the same room as him and to like kind of mentor him in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like until he said it, I never even thought about Cam. I know the. Quote unquote, the lead person that everybody wants or talks about is Tannehill, and honestly, Tannehill is probably the best guy that's available right now, probably. And I almost throw up saying that because of how I feel about Tannehill, but
for like too much money,
right?
Because like I mean, I think he wants like $5 to $8 million, and we just don't have that, you know. So, and also like, people are trying to have us trade for like Hassan Reddick, and I was like, dude. Like we don't have money for a receiver, but we have $10 million for Hassan Reddick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog.
Right.
And also, man, and with Rashad, man, like I just don't think he will last like a whole season. Which has me really worried about our receiver situation, man. I just don't feel like he'll last. Like I think he'll maybe do like 8 games tops, if targeted. But if he's just running routes out there, I think he'll last the season. But if he actually gets targeting, like we plan on targeting him, I just don't see him lasting it, which worries me because then we'll be back more like in 2020 situation, whereas like
right.
Only have
well, we got all the scrubs out there.
Yeah, like Tylen, I like Tylen, but he hasn't proven anything to me against starting level corners. Like he's done good against backups, but starters he hasn't proven to me yet. So it's like it just worries me that we'll go back to just.
Speaking on Tylen, I'm glad you brought that up. This is my opinion on Tylen. I feel like they should just let Tylen be the returner and just go and get rid of Hardy.
Yeah.
The cat ain't practiced, ain't, and I think he started practicing, but still, Tylen has done whatever you've asked him to do for 3 or 4 years. Outclassed Duvernay as a returner. Did that return versus the Rams. Give Tylen that opportunity.
Yeah, I know, because like I would love to give him opportunity, but it's like we're in a super window, and I just don't. I'm fine with giving him an opportunity. I just don't want to rely on him.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't really work out, or just like, or he's fine on special teams, but against starting out the corners, he's just kind of not there. Then it's like, oh, we only have Zay, and that's it. Because I just don't see Rashad lasting like the whole season.
Yeah, he ain't last the whole preseason.
I know, like, I mean.
And I saw John today has finally got irritated of people asking about him today. You know how John get irritated when you constantly asking about injuries. He finally hit that they finally hit that button today, and he tired of people asking about Bateman. And this time, I ain't mad about it. I normally feel like he'd be tripping, but this time I ain't. I'm like, I'm with you, John. Like, stop asking me about this dude. I feel him.
It's just, man, like I'm just worried about it because we just it's looking more and more likely that we're gonna just have to rely on Zay to make all the plays at the receiver position, because I don't see Rashad lasting at all. So man, I just don't. I'm like excited about the season, but I'm also kind of nervous because we have a bunch of just like big question marks that can lead to our downfall in the playoffs, because we're fine in the regular season, but it's in the playoffs. I just don't know what we're gonna do. Like I'm hopeful, but I'm also kind of realistic because we still have the same holes that we've always had. That's always kind of hurt us. You know what I'm saying? So I just. But I do think we'll have a better O-line this season, man, because Roger Roy's he impressed me a lot. You know what I'm saying?
He needs some bricks in his pocket. Other than that, he needs some bricks in his pocket.
But yes and no, because he wasn't strong, but he wasn't weak either. Like
right.
If that makes sense.
It does. I think he just need, and if when we run his own stuff, he'll be fine. But if we get in a situation where we got to run power and counter, he has to move people, that would be an issue. Yeah. And his pass pro was, his pass pro was beautiful. Was beautiful. Cam, I got one more guy behind you, so I don't want him to wait too long and hang up. Let me run to him, and we'll have call-in shows through probably the rest of the year. So I appreciate you, and I know you're gonna tap in from time to time. Let me. Cause I don't know who this new person is. I don't want to hang up. I want to make sure they get their thoughts out. All right, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me lock this.
The conference has been locked.
All right, got our last caller right here. Let me see. All right, what's your name, where you calling from, and what you got for me?
Coach, what's going on, man? This your boy Bam, man. You probably recognize me from our previous arguments over Patrick Queen, but he's gone now, so we should get over the fine, man.
So we can't argue about Pat Queen no more.
Hey, man, only during pre-games. That's it, man. Hey, man.
Hold on, before we get started, we're gonna close this out with Pat Queen. When he posted that thing when he was watering his grass and they was talking about him. Mm-hmm. That might have been some of the funniest stuff I've seen in a long time, boy. Now we know a lot of people don't like Pat Queen, but that was elite level trolling right there, boy.
Man, that was crazy, wasn't it? That was crazy work. That was crazy.
Go ahead, man. What you got from? What's your thoughts about the game, and not even just the game, but the team in general right now, moving forward?
Man, well, I pretty much feel like we be on the same page, but I'm just trying to figure out John Harbaugh's thought process on keeping players in the game longer than they should. Mm-hmm. I'm still amazed by coming out in that third quarter and seeing Wiggins out there. I can understand Trenton Simpson. Okay, he needs to replace Patrick Queen. You want to see what he got. Okay, but in Nate, you seen what you had in that first drive. You know what I'm saying? Like the first drive, 3 passes deflected, 4 if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was 4.
Half.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
I don't know what John is thinking about, but hey, you live and you learn. But it's like, man, it's been 14 years. When are you gonna learn?
Right now, I think Trent would have been out of the game if didn't get hurt. I think that was Chris Board that got hurt, maybe.
You're right. Chris Board sure did get hurt with a concussion.
If Chris Board didn't get hurt, I think Trent would have been out of the game. Now, as far as Nate, we got a bunch of guys on this list that could have been in that game. Like somebody asked me in the chat, what about Christian Matthew? Like he could have been in the game because that was a game I didn't know about. My boy Worley could have been in the game. We could have played a bunch of other guys that should have been in that game because Nate had showed me, like Nate had me standing on my feet like, oh yeah, we got one. And he showed me enough to like, look, okay, all right, get him out. Especially with Marlette already being hurt. Nate was on, and what impressed me the most was Nate was on the other team sideline, locking those guys down. And the fact that what he was doing, I don't know if you saw it during the game, the other team's coaches was clapping him up saying, okay, I will see you. And that respect right there, that lets you know that dude was doing what he needed to do.
Exactly, man. I'm like you, man. I was on my feet, like, yeah, that's right. I was waiting for Kansas City at that point, but yeah, man. Okay, so and then another thing I want to bring to your attention. Did you notice that outside linebacker Joe Evans?
No, like I said, we might disagree on this one. I noticed, but not positively.
Okay, thank you. Now, that guy was like David Ojabo in his first year. That guy had one move, and if it didn't work, it was over with.
So we all on the same page.
Man, that guy ran straight to the backfield and got stopped, and it was nothing left. I'm like, okay.
And his get off was immaculate.
Exactly. After that, it's like, what do I do? I mean, hey, I'm a real Ravens fan, man, so I hope they don't get mad at me talking this mess, but I'm a realist, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, and this Rashad Bateman thing, man, oh, my goodness. I understand the man's hurt and all that. I understand that, he might – to me, I'm going to be honest with you. To me, it feels like Rashad don't even want to be here. I mean, I know he said what he said,
Right. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got screwed. He got screwed with the contract thing.
And my thing is, how do you not want to go practice with your starting quarterback and your fellow receivers? I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. But you want to be the number one receiver. Okay, maybe there's some things going on behind closed doors, but hey, suck it up. It's the team. Do what's best for the team. You know what I'm saying? You're locked in for 3 years now. You're locked in, so I don't know what the problem is, but hey, I'm going to just get it out the way. First and a third for CD. Get Rashad out of here, man.
Ooh.
Hey, I'm just saying, man.
I'm telling you, look, if Eric DeCosta can pull that off, I promise you, anybody that speak ill on Eric DeCosta, I'm clicking them off my channel. And I know EDC going to make a bunch of bad moves after that, but if he can pull me some CD Lamb off, you ain't talking bad about EDC on my channel. I don't care how many bad moves he make after that.
For real. Hey, that's real talk, man, because I don't want to hear all that stuff. Oh, the cap this, the cap that. Eagles signing players left and right, man. Ain't worried about the cap. I'm pretty sure we can maneuver something.
Bam, check this out. Tua make $1 gazillion. Tyreek make $1 gazillion. Jalen Waddle make a little bit less than $1 gazillion. It's money out there. It's money out there. I don't know the capology and all that stuff. I guess my brain ain't that big, but it's money out there. They just got to finagle some stuff.
I'm pretty sure when we signed Odell, we was like about $5 million under the cap. We gave that man $15 million, and we had a $1.5 million salary cap. Come on, now. You can't tell me we can't maneuver something better than that.
And that's why Odell took pennies to go to Miami, because he living off all money.
Exactly. Still living off it.
Mm-hmm. He out there doing the Cupid shuffle off all money.
And if you want to get technical, if you want to say, hey, we can't trade Bateman due to the contract, I'm just saying I wouldn't mind floating Mark Andrews out there with Isaiah Likely coming up behind him.
The people gonna get you, dog. The people gonna get you.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm a businessman. I'm just saying.
Hey,
I wouldn't mind.
And the thing is, how many more years Mark got on that contract? That's the key.
I believe it's 2, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say 2, but I seen somewhere where they said it was 1, but that was probably false news.
Yeah, I know it's more than 1. I know it's more than 1. But the thing is, with Likely as good as he is, that ain't you know what I'm saying? You can kind of maybe throw Mark's name out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think
like
at this point, Likely has a bigger upside.
Yeah, a way bigger upside. He has more wiggle. He has more juice. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, he's not Mark and Mark is not him, but I would be okay with him Likely.
That's a great statement. He is not Mark, and Mark, they two different people. They got two different positives and 2 different downsides. I agree with you completely. And I personally would love to keep both, but if the NFL's a business, if one got, you know what I'm saying, if you got a weak spot in your team somewhere and you got a surplus somewhere else, you might have to pull from that surplus to patch this hole. So
exactly.
And ain't nobody gonna give us nothing for Kolar yet. Not yet.
Oh no, not yet.
Even though I like what he did in the preseason, they ain't gonna give us nothing for cornrow Kolar yet.
Hey, hey man, you be killing me with that cornrow Kolar. Hey man, Kolar, I love what I've seen out the blocking game in Kolar. I'll tell you that.
Bruh, was he moving people or what?
Man, was it Jordan Davis or one of them dudes? He pushed about 5 yards lateral down the line.
One of them. I know he did it 2 or 3 times. Yeah. He ain't played but 7 snaps, but he man, 2 or 3 of them that he showed out on. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And another thing, I don't know how much time I got, but from the eye test and paying attention close from all these months, there is no way in the world you're telling me that they're going to start somebody other than Patrick McCurry over Ben Cleveland at right guard, especially after that game against Philly. Especially,
and y'all know how hard I went for Ben Cleveland. Like me and Nitro fell out over the Ben Cleveland thing. We good now. Just in case y'all don't know, me and Nitro good now. I apologize and we talk behind closed doors. We good. So if anybody was still wondering, me and Nitro, we good. I don't understand what's going on. Why this dude? What is his practice habits? To me, I think it's personal. Because every time he gets where everybody can see him, because we can't see practice tape, but when it gets where everybody can see him, on TV, and we can get the all 22 and stuff like that, he plays well.
Really good.
So,
he plays. I'll tell you what. From what I've seen about that preseason game and when he came in last year, he played better than John Simpson. I'll tell you that. Most definitely. And then he played well at a whole different position Friday. Man, did you see that guy at center?
Moving people, wasn't it? Whether it was zone or gap stuff, moving people.
Hey, I understand this is preseason, but if knock on wood, as soon as I get to some wood, but if Tyler was to miss some games, hey, I'm pretty confident in Ben Cleveland after what I've seen from him.
At center, yeah, but then what we gonna do at right guard?
I mean, we paid Patrick McCurry all that money; he can step in and fill out.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's not gonna be Josh Jones or whatever his name is, number 74. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now honestly, he didn't play bad at left tackle. He did not have a bad game at left tackle. And somebody put in one of my comment sections that he's a better guard. They said they saw some. Now I didn't see it. They said they saw some Texas tape, and they said he's a better guard. And last year he played tackle versus us, and we abused him. They moved him to guard, and they moved him to guard shortly thereafter, and he supposedly had a decent season at guard, supposedly. But at tackle, we murked him. So that's what the people say. I can't verify. I ain't seen it.
Yeah, and I was watching your tape the other day about Voorhees. Man, if Voorhees get his stance a little lower and straighten out that back, man, he'd be all right.
Yeah, I think Voorhees he hadn't played in a while, and it's just gonna take him a minute to get his, for lack of a better word, get his sea legs up under him. Yeah, I don't think he fully trusts that knee yet. Probably a little bit after this game, but I don't think he fully trusted that knee because he looked good in a couple plays. Looked strong. Yeah, I was a skeptic of him, and not because I thought he sucked. It's just because he hadn't played in a while. with every rep, that skepticism was kind of going away. And I think I don't think he'll play that much this game because I think he can kind of solidify his spot at left guard. I think he'll play a little bit and he'll be one of the ones they pull like, all right, you good, my boy, and start putting some Tayshaun Man or some other guys out there just to make sure we get to that first 5. Because I think we got 3 of the 5. Honestly, I think we got Ronnie, Voorhees, and Linderbaum. So I think that left side is done. We got to figure out this right side.
Hey, I'm sorry for whose feelings I hurt, man. And
That's all good.
If this is the Ronnie of the past couple of years, I sure hope this is his last year. Because we don't need two Andrew Villanuevas out there, man.
I think it's different. I think we finally got a healthy Ronnie now. I think Ronnie's been hurt the past 2 to 3 seasons. I do. Did you see Ronnie go and catch a football? You saw that picture?
You know what? I'm probably one of the only people in the world was trying to confirm, like, damn, was that Ronnie out there?
Supposedly it was. That's the play. Do you remember a couple weeks ago they was like, well, they ended the practice on the play, but we can't say what it was. The reporters. That Ronnie catching that ball.
Oh,
but
I mean, shoot, that's good, but I need to see that man blocking.
So if we got a healthy Ronnie, not saying a healthy Ronnie is gonna be all pro Ronnie, but at least a healthy Ronnie can give us, maybe a Pro Bowl Ronnie. Or at least a Ronnie that just ain't gonna be a turnstile like Villanueva was.
Man, we need a Ronnie that's gonna block Myles Garrett for at least 3 seconds this year.
Come on now. Bam. 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 Bam.
I'm just saying, man.
Keep it real now. You say you're a realist. Ain't nobody in the NFL blocking Myles. Nobody.
Not at all. Not at
nobody.
all.
So that's a big
ask. I put it like this, Coach. I need to see a better effort because, man, ain't no way in the world
I give you that.
Whooping people like he was whooping, man. Good grief.
Yeah, but TJ and Miles and maybe Michael Parsons and I was even go so much with a little bit of Baby Bosa. I ain't nobody blocking them cats all game.
Oh yeah, nah.
They just too good. You got to give credit where credit is due.
I'll give them that, man.
Hey, somebody said aim high, Bam. Aim high.
Hey man, yeah, I hear you on that though, man. But whew, man, it's just I don't know, man. I just look. I feel like we did a better job as far as like preparing for this. Like we knew Ronnie was hurt the past probably even 4 seasons. We could have better prepared for this situation. That's all I'm saying. But, yeah, other than that, though, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the show, man. I'm always aboard to come on here and talk a little mess, ruffle up some feathers, man. Cool.
Hey, that's what we're here for, man, because we all not going to get along. We're not all going to all see the same, and I just like talking ball, and so I love to have the conversation. Because we all like some people like to talk, some people like to type, and it's different.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I thought you was going to track me down about my comments on Patrick Queen.
Nah, I just like having fun, and I gravitate to some people. Like Patrick Queen was one of the ones I gravitate to. Prochet was, and I know Prochet ain't do what he needed to do.
Oh man,
but it is what it is.
Man. Oh man,
I just saw something in him, and I just felt like he got a raw deal. But every time he got out there, he didn't live up to what I thought I saw. So it is what it is. I gotta go find his catch from Saturday though. I know he had a 17-yard catch. I gotta go find it.
Oh yeah, he got a 17-yard catch.
Yeah, probably in the last play of the game or something, because I know he probably ain't playing much.
Yeah, it probably was a tip ball. It went to his way. Hey, but Coach, I want to bring up this one last point. I forgot. You remember a couple years ago that receiver we had, Shamar Briggs?
Yeah.
Bridges?
Yeah, from Mississippi State.
I don't understand how that dude is not our number 1B receiver right now.
I don't know. He's if I'm not mistaken, he's in the Canadian League, maybe. But
man, that dude, him and Isaiah likely was neck and neck that preseason.
Yep, they sure was.
I don't understand that. Like, and then we came up with an injury settlement. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? What's going on?
We was trying to stash, and the stash wasn't working. Man. That's what it was. We was trying to stash, and I think him and his people wasn't going for it.
Man, because that dude, man, I seen 1B potential, honestly.
So. We'll see.
Yes, sir, though, man. I'll let you go, Coach. I'll let you get to it, man. Y'all have a great one. I appreciate you for accepting my call. I'm going to try to call in more often.
Most definitely. We're gonna try to do these on Mondays, man, throughout the preseason. So we'll definitely run this back next Monday. And it looks like 6 o'clock is a good time for most people. So we'll try to keep these at 6 o'clock on Mondays. So next Monday at 6, we'll talk about the game coming up Saturday at noon, man. I appreciate you, man. I look forward to it.
Yes, sir, man. I'll holler at you. Y'all take care.
Be easy, baby. All right. That was our last one for today. So with that being said, I didn't get a chance to go through my wrap up, which is cool because our only reason I even have my wrap up is just in case nobody calls in or to buy time for people to call in. So, but like if I click on and somebody calls in before I do it, it's fine. My wrap up is simply a filler, honestly. And I had my wrap up ready, had my little notes, but no need to do it. And you know what? I am going to do it, but not for y'all. I'm going to do it for my Patreon people. So tomorrow I have a video with my wrap-up notes for my Patreon people and my Patreon and my members. That's what I do. One last thing. So in 2 hours, the fellas will be back and we'll talk about the game as a unit. I think all 6 of us will be back. So the Ravens Roundup will return at 9 o'clock tonight. So make sure you pop in for that. And all Patreon and members, we will be giving away Sip to Tally hat tonight. So make sure you're there for that. Because if you're not there, you don't win. When I spin the wheel, if you're not present, you don't get the hat. Well, it's a couple guys that I already talked to that said they got to work. So it's 2 or 3 of those guys. And that I already got their name written down. But if you're not present, you don't win. And we're doing it toward the end of the show. All right. So I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the callers for calling in. And hold on, I ain't checked the. Hold on. Don't leave yet. Let me get your points. I owe y'all 25 and 50 points. I got caught up in conversation. Give me 1 second. I got caught up in conversation. So let me hit you 25 points. Bam. And then come back with your 50 points. Bam. And so everybody should be good on their points right there. And other than that, man, exclamation point points to check your points before we get up out of here. And then I'll do exclamation point top so we can see where everybody at. And then we're going to dip, man. We're going to dip. 1 second. T-O-P. And that should be about it. Let's see, make sure they act right. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I know you're gonna be sleeping. I thank you though. I thank you for tuning in on the other side of the globe. For tuning in on the other side of the globe. I appreciate it. And that's it, man. I'm gonna roll. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.